All right, man, listen, it's your boy Slushy, and in today's video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to play Succession Sage. This is gonna be the updated, full, complete, perfected Succession Sage guide. Try saying that 5 times fast. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You can find a full guide for Sage over on my website at BDOHQ.com if you haven't already seen the site. The site is about a year old. I'm going to be updating it as a lot of it is still outdated, but I'm going to be updating all the classes and adding new classes here very soon, starting out with Sage. So getting started, we're going to talk about movement. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so I'm gonna make this quick and easy, not as quick and easy as it is to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. I greatly appreciate it. So let's talk about movement. So getting started on Sage, you have Rift Chain. Rift Chain is going to be your basic movement. This is going to allow you to rift around. Every rift that you get when the skill is not on cooldown, you have an iframe. When it's on cooldown, you have a super armor. The other movement that you have that you're going to use for your iframe is going to be Spear Bolt, which is WC. The first part of it is going to be frontal guard, and the second part where you move is going to be iframe. So you can combine Rift Chain with Spear Bolt in order to give you that extra protection. Now, with that being said, the other part of movement, the other skill is going to be this skill down here, being Prime Form Shift, which is going to allow you to do a super armor move that is going to give you basically just super armor and damage. But I do like to combine this skill with my Rift Chain. So as you can see here, if I Rift Chain from the start of this little wall right here, when we end our Rift Chain, we are at a little bit past this step. But what I like to do is whenever I have someone chasing me, or I need to get somewhere quick, or I just need to use extra movement for whatever reason necessary, I like to combine the two. So I'm going to first use this skill being Form Shift, and then I'm going to go right into Rift Chain. So we're going to Form Shift into Rift Chain, and we're going to move that far, that quick, that easy. The first thing that you do want to do before you get into a fight, or if you already are fighting, is charge your overdrive. Now, your overdrive is going to stack up to 10 times, which is going to give you 1% increased casting speed for every single stack of overdrive that you are able to build up. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you the different ways of building your overdrive. You can build your overdrive by using just simple moves. You also have the ability to build your overdrive as well by just auto attacking. Now, just auto attacking and standing still is not going to build it up as fast as you would if you were to auto attack while moving forward. So if we auto attack and move forward at the same time, as you can see, we're going to build up those stacks a lot quicker. So anytime I'm just kind of sitting around, I always make sure that I have my overdrive stacked up and ready to go. It lasts for 10 seconds, so just make sure that you are always stacking that up. And once it is fully stacked, you are ready to go. So that's pretty much going to cover the basics of movement. You got your Rift Chain, you got your Form Shift that you can combine with Rift Chain, and then you also have your Spear Bolt. Other than that, that is going to cover basically all the basics for movement. Now what we're going to do is we are going to move into the actual skills. So let's talk about the different skills. So when we talk about the different skills, what I want to do is break down the first frontal guards, and then from there we will talk about the super armors and how you can actually flow certain moves with your movement, and also take advantage of the rift that you get, the iframe version. So whenever you first rift, you are going to get 2 seconds of super armor whenever you rift and you use that iframe. So if you look down here where my buffs are, whenever I iframe on with Rift, when it is not on cooldown, you can see that I get 2 seconds of super armor. So that's going to be really nice for using skills that are unprotected. So before we talk about that, let's talk about the frontal guards first. The frontal guards that you have are going to be Spatial Fissure, which is shift left mouse button. You also have a Tor's Energy, which is down left mouse button. You also have void gateways, which is shift right mouse button. And last but not least, you have spatial, which is S and F. When you cast it, it is frontal, but when you release it, it is not protected. The other last forward guard that you have is going to be your Shift E, which I forget the name of, and I do believe it is Gravity Rift. Yep, Shift E. The skill also gives you health back. And you also have your Q block. Your Q block is going to give you plus 20 DP, and whenever you stop blocking, you're going to keep that DP buff up. So it's definitely important to always have that DP buff up whenever you are going into combat or when you are fighting. Now, with that being said, the reason why it's important to understand your frontal guards is because when you're moving around and you do not have your iframes anymore, when you're just in your rift and it's super armor, you can take a lot of damage just super armoring around. So it's nice to use your iframes. Once your iframes are done, go into your frontal guards to keep yourself protected and to also just make sure that you are not taking a lot of damage so you don't die when you're just using your basic super armor rift. Or I'm sorry, yeah, your basic super armor rift. Now, with that being said, you also have a couple different super armors. Now, I do have one skill enhancement super armor that is going to be Void Eruption. So that's on my hotbar. That is a quick super armor. The other super armor that you have is going to be Prime Rift Storm, which is down C. Another super armor that you have is going to be Form Shift that I talked about earlier. Another armor that you have is going to be Dimensional Compression, which is the new Magnus skill. That is ShiftQ. You also have your E-buff. Now, what's nice about your E-buff is whenever you use it, it's going to give you super armor. Now, what's really nice about Suck Sage and Sage in general is you have a skill called Reset. Reset is going to actually reset all of your cooldowns and also reset your E-buff. So if I go and I use a bunch of skills, everything's on cooldown, right? And I want to be able to like E-buff again because I just used my E-buff, I can just go ahead and reset. Everything is off cooldown and I have another E-buff. Another thing that is really, really, really important with the E-buff is whenever you pop it, you get 15 seconds of super armor. So not only is this really important, but also whenever you have your E-buff for Sage, whenever you get grabbed, you will immediately get back up. So if you're going against a striker, a Zerker, a warrior, someone that can just grip you by your big ass forehead, being able to just pop your E-buff and make sure that you can get up after you get grabbed is super, super important. And it's going to keep you very, very protected, and it's going to be really nice. The other skill that you're going to have that's going to give you super armor is going to be the Flow to a Tor's Energy, which I just did. So whenever you do down left mouse button for Tor's Energy, you hold right mouse button and you're going to use the flow of it. And that is right here. This is, now I'm going to try to pronounce this, Automagia. Yep, I did it first try. Let's go. But down left mouse button, then right mouse button, and we're going to be able to do the super armor flow, and that is going to be another SA that you have. Now, with all that being said, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about how to use your skills with your Rift. So let's talk about the flows that you have. So your Spatial Collapse, which is your SF, this move right here, it has a flow. That second part where it came up from the ground, I held left mouse button, but you can separate those attacks with Rift. So the first part of Spatial Collapse, I can use it, cast it, move around, and then slam it down. You can also, we'll wait a second for it to come back, cast it, move around, slam it down, Rift again, do the flow. So Sage is going to be super nice for allowing you to do things like that. Another flow that we have is going to be this skill, which hits really, really hard. And it also does a lot of damage. If I can find it here, it's going to be Illusion Expansion, which the first part is a stiff. The second part is going to be a KD. So right here, stiff, whoops, stiff, keep holding it. It's going to launch out a KD, which is going to be really, really nice. you can do the first part, Rift, do the second part. Another skill, basically all the skills you can use before you go into Rift, like a Tor's Mark, which is S and E. So SE, then Rift, let it go. A Tor's Energy, S left mouse button, Rift, let it go. Piercing Thorn. It's a spear that is a KD. It is unprotected. But what we can do is we can Rift and then throw it out. So Rift, throw it out. And remember, the reason why you want to Rift before a lot of these skills is because whenever you Rift and you have the iframe version of it, it's going to give you 2 seconds of super armor. So these skills that are unprotected, like Piercing Thorn, I Rift and then throw it, it is then going to allow me to get a quick CC, and it also is going to be fully protected. Now, it is also imperative that you understand how to cancel your Rift. All you have to do on PC is just left mouse click and you'll cancel out of it. So you will do that a lot, and it's going to be something that you will just get the hang of whenever you figure out what playstyle you want. Another skill that you can Rift with is Void Gateways, which is shift right mouse button. We can kind of throw that out. Now, one of my favorite skills, which is the old ShiftQ, is going to be Illusion Compression. And Illusion Compression is a really, really good skill. Not only does this skill have a vacuum, but it also has 3 hits. Well, it technically has 4 hits. The first 3 hits can all apply a stiffen. The last hit is going to be a float, but it's fully unprotected. But what you can do is you can Rift with it, get the iframe super armor, and then go ahead and use it. So we will Rift with the iframe, get out super armor, and then go into the vacuum. And then we are able to stiff and then also get the float. So that's really, really nice. And I'm trying to show you guys all the different things that there is with Sage. And I might forget a couple things. So if I forget anything, please tell me in the comments down below. But there's a lot to know on Suck Sage. It is a simple class, but also it's a very technical class with all the different variations of skills and movements that you can do for the class. So it is simple, but at the same time, it is very robust. With that being said, we are going to talk about the buffs that some of the skills give you that are very important to know. So your spatula, or your spatial collapse, I like to call it spatula, that is going to, right here, if we look at the skill, all DP minus 20 for 10 seconds. So that's going to be your DP shred. Your Ator's Mark, which is your down E, is going to be your evasion shred. So this is going to all evasion minus 18% for 10 seconds. We're going to talk about some other buffs as well. I cannot remember if the actual punch, which is right down here, Ator's Fist. Yes, this is also all DP minus 20. So your F skill. And then we're going to talk about all these skills that give you really, really, really good buffs that you want to use whenever you're in combat. So first skill that we're going to talk about is going to be your Spatial Fissure, shift left mouse button. This is going to give you an all accuracy rate plus 18%. So whatever your accuracy is, it's going to increase it by 18%, which is busted. It's one of the skills that makes this class so good. Next, Illusion Expansion, shift F is going to increase your AP by 20. Crazy buff. And if you thought that was crazy, you have another AP buff on top of that with Spear Bolt, which is going to increase your magic AP by 16. So technically, you're getting 16 AP plus 20 AP from Illusion Expansion, which is giving you 36 AP. And then on top of that, you're getting the 18% accuracy rate from Spatial Fissure. And that accuracy rate, when you have the minus 18% evasion rate on a target, so you're subtracting the evasion rate or evasion from them, shredding it, at the same time you're increasing your own accuracy, so you're just getting all that extra damage. And it's really, really good against evasion classes using those two skills in conjunction. With that being said, I want to talk about the ultimate a little bit, and hopefully I don't mess this up because then I'll have to wait to show you guys again. But the ultimate is actually a bound. So whenever you use it, it might not look like it does anything. But what I want you to do is I want you guys to look at this target over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the alt. And as you can see, it hit twice. Both of those times has a chance to bind your enemy and keep them on the ground. So definitely important that you understand how that works. So you could use that alt, then you could like rift over here, they get CC'd, and then you could CC them again. And then you will basically be able to combo them off of that. The other thing that is really important that I want to tell you guys about is with Spatial Fissure, which is your shift left mouse button. Also really good frontal guard. It's a down smash. So that can be how you can extend your combos on people. And I do believe that I talked about everything that was important for the class. We talked about the reset, the rift chain. Oh, I know. Your right mouse button spear throw, which is always off cooldown. I don't think there's a cooldown for it. That's what I mean to say. This skill is insane. It is unprotected, but what it does is it's going to put a movement speed debuff of 50% on your target for 10 seconds. So if you're fighting a Zerker who's running at you like an ape, or you got that striker that's gunning for you, all you got to do is rift, get that super armor, bop. They ain't catching you. For 10 seconds, they ain't catching you with that debuff. I promise you. So that's important to always make sure that you have that debuff on targets that run at you quick. Oh, Realm of Anguish. This is another good skill. Down right mouse button. This is going to throw a globe on the ground. If you hit with it, it is a bound, I do believe. You will rarely ever hit that. That's not what the skill is really meant for. The skill is meant as a magic DP shred. So you have that magic DP shred as well as the DP shred from a Taurus Fist. So this is all DP shred, and then also spatula or spatial collapse is also another DP shred. And yes, this all DP shred stacks with the magic DP. So if you set this down and someone comes into the bubble and you also are able to hit them with either spatial collapse or a Taurus Fist, they're going to be technically, their DP is going to be reduced by 40. So I believe now that is everything that I wanted to cover. The last thing that might be important to know for the vacuum. Now, this vacuum skill, I cannot stress to you how amazing this skill is. It is really good. When you have mooses that come running at you and they're getting it all up in their grill, most moose attacks, at least some of them from my experience, are unprotected. When you get rangers that don't seem to have any gaps that get close to you, when you're fighting another suck sage that keeps getting really close to you, all you have to do really is iframe, get that 2 seconds of super armor, and bruh, just suck them up like a Dyson vacuum cleaner with this vacuum skill, man. This shit is OP. All you gotta do is rift, vacuum, get the stiffen, bada bada, bing bop, float, get a KD, something like that, whatever you want to do, and then they're on the ground. You're good to go. Also, another thing that is nice about this vacuum skill that you might not know, let's say you got a Sork that wants to shadow leap behind you and then midnight stinger you from the back, right? So all you got to do, say I'm standing right here, right? And pretend this Sork is the one that's behind me. If I know that this Sork is going to be coming, trying to get to my back, I can anticipate it, so I can back up. And as I back up, right, I know he's going to be right here. I can go into the vacuum and it will hit behind me. It actually hits in a 360 that most people don't know about. So I frame backwards, vacuum, and it hits behind you. A lot of people don't know that. It is really OP, and I highly recommend getting good with illusion compression because it's really going to help you out in PvP. With that being said, now I do believe that I have showed you all the important things for Suck Sage skill-wise, besides dimensional compression, which is the Magnus skill. I think I showed this earlier. ShiftQ is going to be your super armor, and it hits really hard. Now, with that being said, what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about PvP combos. So let's get into the PvP combos. All right, so first things first with PvP, let's quickly go over the skill add-ons. Go ahead and take a screenshot. Spatial Collapse, I have all DP minus 15. Remember, this skill reduces DP on people, and this DP will also stack with the Spatial Collapse DP. Illusion Expansion, this is the skill that has the stiffen and then the KD. I have extra damage to humans plus 10 and critical hit rate plus 20. Void Gateways, got the bleed, got the attack and casting speed. This is a skill that you'll use often. It applies a float and it is really good. You can see a lot of people that are around you. So for example, or that are in front of you. So if I use this, move up, it's gonna CC both of these people. So it has a really wide range. Taur's Fist, we got critical hit rate and critical hit damage. Illusion Compression, all evasion rate plus 4%, as well as all accuracy rate minus 4%. Now you might be wondering, why are you doing that? The reason why I do that is because I use this skill a lot. So when I use this skill, there's no guarantee that people are going to get stiffened by it. There's also no guarantee that you're going to CC someone with it. So with that being said, I want to make sure that I buff myself with evasion in case they like grab me or like try to hit me or something when they get out of it. And also I'm reducing their accuracy rate. So if they do get out of the vacuum and they try to attack me, they're at least going to be debuffed so they won't hit me as hard and they'll miss a lot of their attacks because I am reducing their accuracy. This is a skill that you can change out and put whatever you want, but I do find this very useful. Last skill is going to be a Taur's Mark, which is all evasion rate minus 4% and all accuracy rate plus 4%. Now remember, the all evasion rate minus 4%, that is going to stack with the all evasion rate minus 18%. So all in all, you're reducing their evasion by 22%. And yes, skill add-ons do stack with each other. Do stack with like the main skill. If you have like this evasion, this all accurate, so if you have like two add-ons that are doing the same thing, for example, if I had an all DP minus 15 here and then like an all DP minus 15 on something else, those won't stack. That won't give you minus 30. But like if you have a skill add-on that has all evasion rate minus 4% and then a skill that also has all evasion rate minus whatever percent, those will stack. So hopefully that makes sense. Last but not least, crystals. For my crystals, now, you might be wondering, where is this crystal? Well, I may or may not have gotten fed by a griefer in Gyphon, but that's a story for another day. So I run 2 Dark Red Fang Valors. These are going to give me critical hit plus 2. So this is going to allow me to always be at critical hit plus 5 on my character sheet. So look at your character sheet. All you got to do is hit P. And as you can see, I have plus 5 critical hit. If we go back to our crystals, I am also running 2 Jin Harfias, Jin Harfia, 2 Vipers. I lost a Viper when I got fed to mobs. Great day. I run 2 Rebellious in PvP. The reason is for the extra HP and also the AP, which is nice. 2 Corrupteds, 2 Elcars, and then you would want to use the 2 PvP Alucas crystals that give you extra accuracy. I think it's human damage, and then also the speed, attack and casting speed, and that's going to be it for your crystals. If you want to run another build, if you're like an endgame player, you already know how to like change all this around, but that's just what I use. So yep, that's all that there is for the crystals. Now let's talk about the combo. So talking about the combo, let's go ahead and actually pull up the notepad. If you guys don't know about this, if you hit escape, click on the notepad, you're actually able to create a new note, or if you already have one activated, you can click on it and it will show. This is a great way if you need to learn a combo, how to be able to just easily put it up on the screen. So you can change the transparency however you want, change the color, whatever you want to do. So this is the combo, very easy. We are going to use, now I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, but I'm just going to stand still while I do it. F, Shift F, F flow, Shift LMB, Shift E, or SE, so all that you do is F, Shift F, hold it for the flow, Shift LMB, S plus E, Shift Q, and then SC. Now, you don't want to do it the way that I just did it, standing still. You're going to obviously want to move around, but that is how you do it. Now, how I would pull this off is I would go up to somebody and I would get the Ator's Fist, KD. Now, the first CC that you can do, or that you want to do, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You can use your spatial collapse. You can use your Ator's Mark, which is going to be your SE. You can use Piercing Thorn. You can even use Void Gateways. It really doesn't matter for the first skill. So anything you want to put there will work. But I'm just going to use F just for making this easy. So I'm going to Rift, and then I'm going to hit Ator's Mark. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to hit Ator's Fist. The reason why you want to hit Ator's Fist after the iframe, if you guys already guessed it, you're going to get that super armor. So Rift, Ator's Mark, Shift F, F flow. So you KD'd him, then you're going to KD him again with the F flow. From there, you're going to shift left mouse button. That's going to down smash the target and keep them on the ground. Then you're going to hit them with that quick SE, and that is going to reduce their evasion. Then from there, Shift Q, Magnus skill, and then end it off with Prime Rift Storm if they're not already dead. Now, we're going to be speeding this up because we want to make sure when you're fighting, you're going to have your overdrive up, right? And you're also going to have your Velzart, whatever. And then we'll put Exquisite Cron Meal just to get the extra casting speed and attack speed. All right, so we're going to get full buffed, and this is what the combo will look like all together. That's it. Now, after you do Shift Q, which is the Magnus skill, they will get up from that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They are going to get up immediately after that. That is why at the end, when I do SC, that's why I end it with SC. Some people end with Shift Q, but you can't cancel Shift Q. There's no way to cancel it. So if you do all these skills to this person, right? I do this, 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 then I go into this, and then I do Shift Q there. They're up. They're gonna grab me. They're gonna hit me. They're gonna do damage to me, whatever. So never end with Shift Q at the end of your combo. Make sure you give yourself time to get out of there. That's why I never make it the last skill. Another combo that I really like is going to be the vacuum. So illusion compression. So instead of doing F at the beginning, we can go ahead and do illusion compression. So Rift Chain, illusion compression, we go into combo. Boom, boom, down smash, this, and then end it with Prime Rift Storm. Now, there's some other combos that you can do as well. Let's say, for example, you're like, okay, what if I do Shift F first, right? Remember this flow for that is a KD and it's ranged. So what if you start with that? So what you can do is you can, so let's say we're rifting around. We're like, all right, I'm going to hit this guy with this. So boom. Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get the KD. It's very, very important that whatever second CC you hit on somebody that is on the ground, after you've already CC'd them, you want to make sure that it's a KD, because a KD is going to keep opponents on the ground for the longest. I can't stress that enough. So whether it's going to be your illusion compression KD, your Ator's Fist KD, or your Piercing Thorn KD, make sure you're hitting them with a KD to keep them on the ground. Another thing that I also like to do that is really important, that we will get to in a second, is reducing their movement speed before they get up. But let's go ahead and talk about the illusion compression combo. So let's get the overdrive built up, right? We're gonna stack it like this, wait to get to the +10, and here we go. So I am going to use this skill. So illusion compression, boom. So KD, now down smash, SE, ShiftQ, Riftstorm. Now you don't have to use Riftstorm at the end. You can also go into right mouse button for the spear, which will slow anybody that's trying to get up. So you can do something like this. So right before you go into SC, you don't want to use the spear there. You want to use the spear before ShiftQ. So it's going to be F, Shift F, F flow, this, spear, ShiftQ, and then you can move out of there. So the only way that you're going to get that spear in is if you do it before ShiftQ. And that's the only time you would ever want to end with ShiftQ is if you get the spear in first. The only time you would ever put the spear in is if you're fighting like a Musa, a Meiwa, a Zerker, a Striker, a Velg, a Drak, a class that's going to be able to get up fast. Another thing that I really want to stress is not getting greedy. Getting greedy on Suck Sage is going to get you killed. It's one of the hardest habits to break whenever you're playing the class. So what do I mean by that? So whenever you're playing on Suck Sage and you get a CC, like say for example, I go over here, I go like this, I get this CC and I get him on the ground, right? My first instinct is gonna go and like try to throw out another CC to combo him. The thing that's really important on Sage is that whenever you do get a CC on someone, say for example, like I move around and I get a CC, before you hit that person again, all you gotta do, as long as your Rift Chain isn't on cooldown, Rift Chain to the side, to like the left or the right or the other side of them, right? And then go ahead and do that attack, because you're gonna get that 2 seconds of super armor and it's gonna save you so much hassle from getting CC'd. So if I'm like moving around, I go in, I use spatial right, I'm gonna first rift and then KD that person and then go into my combo. So it's really, really important to make sure that whenever you do CC someone, you don't get greedy and immediately go into your combo. You wanna make sure, if possible, that you are going into that combo protected with your super armor. Another thing that you might find useful is being able to use your spear bolt, which is your W plus C, to get behind someone. This is a good skill sometimes. So for example, I could like CC someone with like void gateways, right? Spear bolt behind them, then go into my combo. So for whatever reason, say I'm right here, right? And there's like someone that's right here that's coming towards me. So if I avoid gateways this person, I know that there's someone behind me. I can move up here, go into spear bolt, combo him, and then instantly go into like my forward guard, which is going to keep me protected, and then do whatever else I need to do. It's just really, really important. I can't stress enough. This is the other thing I can't stress enough. Always make sure at some point you're getting shift and F into your combo, because that's probably your hardest hitting move. And then also, after you've CC'd them twice, use shift left mouse button, which is going to be your spatial fissure, because that's going to be your down smash. As long as you get those two in your combo at all times, you're going to be pretty Gucci. Also, before you get into a fight, remember to always have overdrive up. Overdrive is really important for the casting speed buff, and always make sure you have your buffs up. So your magic AP buff up from spear bolt, your AP buff up from illusion compression, and then your accuracy buff up from spatial fissure. So once you have all your buffs up, right? So buff. So now we're gonna go in and do a combo. So all right, I see someone over there. So what I'm gonna do this, boom, KD again, bang, bop. It's getting up, I'm gonna get out, right? and you should be good to go. So that's pretty much everything that you should need to know for PvP. It's really, really simple. Whenever you have your E-buff up, you're gonna have that full SA at all times. So just go ham, do whatever you want for 15 seconds. Really, as long as you're not gonna get grabbed, you're basically in God mode. If you do get grabbed, you're gonna get up immediately anyways. So that's pretty much it for PvP. I hope that this was able to help you out. If you didn't already know about Select Sage for PvP, there's a lot to know, but it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So if you have any questions about the PvP, please let me know in the comment section down below. What we're gonna do now is we are going to look at the PvE side of things. So let's get to it. All right, so the PvE is gonna be a little bit more complex than the PvP combo, but don't be alarmed, it is not too bad. First, we're gonna go ahead and we are going to look at the PvE add-ons. So let's go ahead and look at that. Really simple: illusion expansion, extra damage, critical hit rate, void gateways, critical hit rate, attack casting speed, a Taurus fist, all DP -10, which will stack with the DP that it already has, critical hit rate, dimension compression, a Taurus mark, accuracy rate and evasion, and a Taurus energy, AP against monsters, and critical hit damage. Now, these might not be what you will use if you have a different combo from mine, but for the combo that I use most of these skills, so this might be the add-ons that would work for you if you follow along with what I'm doing. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna look at my crystals. So if we go and look down at the crystals, we can see for PvE, you want to do 2 Awk Rods. I only have 1 right now because my other one broke, but 2 Awk Rods, 2 Rebellious, 2 Dark Red Fangs. I have 1 Viper because I'm at Gyfin. If I do Hex, I normally have 2 Vipers, 2 Corrupteds, 2 Flames. You can have 5 Flames, so if you have these 2 extra slots for your Garmoth, you can rock 5 Flames, and that's it for your crystal setup. Now for these skills, it's pretty easy. We're going to do the Realm of Anguish first, S+RMB. You can follow along with the notes right here. So S+RMB. Next is going to be S+LMB, which is going to be a Taurus energy. From a Taurus energy, we're going to go into a Taurus mark, which that was a Taurus mark, but that was the alt. Let me go ahead and unlock the alt. So Taurus mark. Then from there, we're going to go into prime a Taurus fist. So we're going to do this for the DP debuff. We're going to do this for the increased AP against increased monster damage against monsters. S+E for the evasion debuff. F for the other DP debuff. Then from there, we're going to do Spear Bolt. Remember, Spear Bolt is going to give us that extra magic AP +16. From there, we're going to go into Shift-LMB. It's going to give us our accuracy buff. Shift-F plus F is going to give us our other AP buff. From there, we're going to go into S+C for Rift Storm, and then end with Shift-Q. Now, at the end of your combo, when you want to restart it, I normally do Gateways and Rift to the other side. So I could actually have another part here. So Shift plus RMB. All right, so all together, I'm gonna do this a lot faster this time. So Realm of Anguish, a Taurus energy, a Taurus mark, Taurus fist, Spear Bolt, Spatial Fissure, into Illusion Compression, into Rift Storm, into Dimensional Compression, or I'm sorry, into Dimensional Compression, and then you're gonna use the skill over here, which is Void Gateways. So I'm gonna do it a lot faster this time, and you will see how fast it is when it's fully sped up and you have all your overdrive up and everything like that. And I'm not gonna talk when I do this, so you guys can just see it full speed. So here we go. It's that simple. You just keep rotating through that and you pretty much have the mobs pretty low after dimensional compression for most places. Unless you're running like Gyfin or Hex, you might have to do the combo a few times. But if you do the combo in that order, you will be able to keep cycling through your skills. And by the time you get to your next combo rotation, you're gonna have your skills off cooldown, ready to go again. So that's pretty much it for the PvE. It's really, really simple. As far as buffs, you're just gonna use all your normal buffs that you would normally use for PvE. But I hope that this guide was able to help you guys learn how to play Succession Sage. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm gonna be seeing you guys next time for some more content. Until then, peace.